we're back.
Hey y'all.
Hey y'all.
Welcome to another episode of Listening to
Sade
and Bridget Renee. I want to start off by saying Happy October.
Happy October. It's my birthday month, y'all.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah. It's my mom's birthday. Shout out to
Yes.
my mom.
Happy birthday,
61. She was percolating last night, y'all.
Oh,
sorry to tell you business, mom. She was doing the percolator.
Not the percolator.
The percolator.
Girl.
She was in there.
Well, she had a good time.
She did have a good time.
Yeah. She had a good time.
Yeah, that's my mama.
Mm-hmm. That's all that matters.
It is.
So today we want to talk about something that happens every October, which is breast cancer awareness.
Yes.
And I'm sure that everybody has known somebody or, is connected to somebody that has experienced breast cancer. So I wanted to talk about myself today.
Let's talk about it.
Okay. So I have been going through, well, let me start off by saying I'm high risk for breast cancer. This all started back in 2020 when COVID hit. I was having some issues. And then I ended up having to get a biopsy in May of 2020. It was benign or negative. And thankfully it was. So at that time I was 34. So when I turned 35, I started to have like yearly, well, every 6 months, I had to have a mammogram and then I had to have an MRI. Because I was considered high risk at that time because it runs in my family. So I started that. I moved. I went to DC and I kept up the same thing. But I moved back here recently, so I'm glad that I did because I feel like, God always aligns things.
Yes, he do.
Yeah. So I go back to the doctor in August, the end of August, and another lump is found in my breast. So at that time, I had to go. It was time for my my mammogram anyway. So I had to get a mammogram, and they also do an ultrasound for me. So everything was normal on the mammogram, which is ironic. What I felt and what the doctor felt was normal tissue. However, on the ultrasound, it was something found, and it was called a complicated cyst. So I had to then get another biopsy in September. So went through that. Thankfully, that was benign. But at that time, they ran my numbers. So basically, if you're high risk if you're over 20%. And I am almost 25%. So now the next step is for me to go to a specialist. And I do that at the end of this month. But it's something that, I just want to say, make sure that you stay up on. If you have anything going on, it doesn't have to necessarily be your breast, but anything that you feel is not right, make sure you stay up on. And I'm thankful that I have a doctor that is very adamant about things.
Getting things done.
Yeah. Because to be honest, I could have been pushed to a back burner a few times if it wasn't for her. And I actually left my previous OBGYN to go to her for that very reason. And it's a stereotypical thing, right? She's a Black gynecologist. So it's unfortunate that I had to transition to get the proper care and the proper urgency, I should say, for this particular situation. And I'm thankful for her for being that listening ear and being an advocate for me also, and letting me know, because I run some things off of her, like, oh, they said this, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I always circle back to her.
Advocate.
Yeah, because
advocate for yourself.
I know that she won't steer me wrong. Even, I'll be honest, even when I got the biopsy this last time, the doctor didn't read my records, and she's like, okay, well, you can come back when you're 40. No, I can't come back when I'm 40. Because I'll be 37 next month.
Yeah.
Well, actually in a month, November 1st. And at that point, 40 is so long away.
Yeah, I round stuff off.
Yeah.
Hey, 40's up the street, okay?
Yeah,
That's
it's
how
so
I feel.
far away. So I'm just thankful to be able to have a team. And honestly, the next appointment is with the specialist, but he's also a surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything, they'll, look, run some more tests and things of that nature. And they see anything that needs to be removed, then they will remove it at that time. So, or schedule it for it to be removed.
So I guess my question is, when all this came about, what issues were you facing? Like, did you, you know how they teach us to do the breast exam ourselves? Was it something like that you was just examining yourself and you felt something, or did you actually have a pain, or?
Yeah, so I did have a pain and I did feel lumps. And what I found out is with African Americans, we have typically dense breast tissue anyway. So I have dense breast tissue.
Wow, that's something new. So African American women, we already have dense breast tissue.
We're more prone to have dense breast tissue.
And why is that?
Now that's a good question.
Yeah.
But I do know a lot of, if you hear and talk to different Black women about their breasts and things of that nature, I know I've had certain conversations and they'll be like, oh, well, mine is always lumpy. And I'll say, well, that's dense tissue. And I mean, when just talking to people our age, we don't know that because they start mammograms at 40.
At 40.
Yeah, so you would never think about it, or unless you're having experiencing some type of.
And it's like, why so late?
Yeah.
Why 40?
Yeah.
Why so late in the game, doctors?
Yeah, that's a good question because I feel like it should definitely be, I don't know, maybe 30. Yeah, maybe 30. But I definitely 40 is late, and especially when she said it, I just like, I'm high risk, you know what I mean? So I just circled back to my doctor. Ironically, I had an appointment with her the next day after my biopsy anyway, and I just talked to her, and it's just again crazy in the difference. Seeing the sense of urgency.
Right, for us.
Yeah. So when I went to her, we was sitting in the office talking, and she pulled up my records or whatever, and she was like, oh my God. Like, she looked at the percentage, like, it's high.
Yeah.
The day before, I was like, oh, well, anything over 20%. It was just very casual. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying all that to say, be an advocate for yourself, because it's important for us to do that.
Absolutely. Make
sure that, you have a good team, a good doctor. And I'm thankful that, I do have to go to a specialist, which is a surgeon, but I'm thankful that they have referred me to one of the best in the area. It's important to have those people on your side, because now if anything is to go wrong, it's early.
Yeah, and they can catch it. And I do feel like you said, we have to advocate for ourselves in the medical, like, I can't get my words out. But basically, when you go into a doctor, picking the right doctor for yourself, doing the research on them, seeing how long they've been in the practice. I do feel like a lot of times we get blessed with good doctors. We'll, how can I put this? Do the research on your doctors, because I feel like in the medical field itself, it is a practice. Yeah. So they're not gonna always sometimes get everything right. So it's up to us as an individual to do the research on sometimes what we can do to help ourselves, as well as help the doctor, because we all work as a team. I do feel like this, and I hate to put the race card out there, I do. But I feel like it's best as Black women, Black men, that we go to Black providers, because they can understand us, our bodies, and the dynamic of us more than the beige people. Yeah. Not trying to, like, I hate to put a race card on it, but like, I have been to doctors and stuff like that where they feel like Black women, we can tolerate pain more, or we more resilient to this, or they don't need to be as adamant with getting this done or getting that done. And no, it's like, treat every patient the same, get it done. What also sucks to me when it comes to health is the way America is with insurance. It makes no effing sense. No sense. It makes no sense. You got people that's taking a bus and going to Canada to get prescriptions and medication to do for themselves. I feel like as much money come out of our taxes and so forth and so on, like, why is insurance so much to be seen? Like, I feel like money is in, like, the sickness is in the money, or the money's in the sickness, or whatever the saying is. I feel like sometimes they pacify our stuff to continue to keep seeing us, to continue to keep getting our money. So they pacify it because money is in the sickness.
Mm-hmm.
That's my take on that. I think a lot into that. So even with that, with what you have going on, have they told you have to change your diet? How do you feel about this?
Mm-hmm. It's funny that you asked about the diet, because the only thing that's ever mentioned when I do go is caffeine. Like, it's nothing else.
No herbal, no vegetables, or
And that conversation is not had. But going back, you just have to do your own research, and we're just kind of on our own. I'm just not even a racial thing per se, but a medical thing.
A medical, absolutely.
You have to be on your own to kind of cure yourself.
Yeah.
Because essentially, I mean, it is the roundabout way for money to be made. You know what I mean? So it is important for us to take time and research things for ourselves. Like, I know I found like some different recipes for juicing, which I started doing in July. Just different recipes for that. That'll kind of help out.
Yeah.
But as far as my diet, I eat mainly chicken and fish. I might have some beef here and there. I could lessen my carb intake, but again, I'm not knowledgeable on if carbs plays an effect. Like,
and I feel like they should be. Even like with the tropicals we use sometimes, like they even like looking into stuff like that, certain tropicals we use can, or hell, when we used to get relaxers, y'all, they even saying like lye and stuff, and relaxers is causing certain types of cancer.
Yes.
So it's like, what about the tropicals we use? What about our toothpaste, mouthwash? Like, any of that, would any of that be in effect? Like, should I not use Jernigan's or what?
Yeah.
Like, it's so deep.
It is. It is, and it gets down at that point to ingredients too.
Ingredients, yeah.
You know what I mean? What ingredients should we stay away from, and things of that nature. But to your other question, how I'm dealing with it, I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like, it's just, I guess what I should say is that I'm being proactive. I'm being proactive and making sure I'm staying on top of things.
Absolutely.
Taking the time to research, like I researched the gentleman that they're sending me to. And just other than that, I don't really take time to think about it, because I don't really have time. It's like, okay, I gotta do this. Like, you know what I mean? On top of life.
Absolutely.
So I don't really know. I haven't really sat down to just think about it per se. I just do know that if it got to that point, I watched my daddy pass of cancer. So that was hard for me to watch on the outside. So I think for me, more so, it would be my loved one seeing me go through that.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
And we always, again, we think about other people and how they feel as far as what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
We think about the hurt of other people seeing us go through something.
Yeah, because that's the hard part. I know how I felt to watch that. So I don't want anybody to watch that with me.
I can relate. I watched my dad go through his stuff with COPD. It wasn't easy to digest.
It's not. Because you look at a person that was so strong, and you look at as a hero, especially, daddy's girls.
Yeah, woo. My dad was my OG.
Yeah. You look at that, and it's just like, it's hard to see them not that strong person.
Right.
And going through those emotions and emotions. And just sitting there helpless. And you feel helpless because you want to help them.
There's nothing you could do.
That's a whole nother topic.
That's a whole other topic.
But I'm just saying that to say that that's what I think about more so, not me. Because I'm going to deal with it chin up, chest out. Whatever it is.
You have?
Yeah.
You
so I worry about more so those that's around me. And of course, my son. So.
And it's good that you do worry about more so everyone's around you. But again, I admire what you're doing as far as how you're taking it, how you're handling it,
the
prevention of it. I don't like to see stuff like that nor hear it. Unfortunately, it's something that happens in life.
It is.
But I feel like certain things, it could be prevented.
Yes. I mean? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
If I could ever, like, you know, while I'm going through my process and things, find something that has helped me, I'll definitely share.
Yeah.
Because that could be a prevention. You know, even though I'm doing it, well, I'm not there, but I'm doing it in the in-between. You know, I know I'm high risk, I identify that. So I'm trying to now not get to the point where, you know, it is cancer.
That part. And I can't say I feel you, because that would be a lie, because I'm not experiencing this, but I totally understand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's deep.
It is.
It's deep.
It is deep. I think that I've had great support, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about that. And just, I mean, I think that's a toxic trait, though, for Black women, I would say, is that we always just continue to push through.
We're too resilient sometimes. Sometimes we need to be treated as if we're fragile.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people tell me I'm resilient all the time. I get that. But sometimes I don't want to be treated as such, because sometimes I got weak moments, too, where I need to be treated as I'm fragile. Like, take care of me. Yeah, I'm resilient. Yeah, I'm strong, but sometimes you get tired of being strong.
And it's okay not to be.
It is okay not to be.
And I think, too, this has shown me other people. Like we talked previously about people treat you how they feel about you.
Yeah.
And it has opened my eyes to other people. If I didn't see it before, which I have in some cases, it really opened my eyes to other people now. And how they treated me while I'm going through this.
Yeah, because this is not light.
Right.
This is nothing light. This is nothing light at all. This not light.
It's not. It's definitely life-changing.
For sure.
I'm just an advocate for not letting up. Don't let up. Whatever you feel, make sure you push through.
Push through and piggybacking off saying no.
Yeah. And say no. Say no. And push up on your doctors if you have to. If they're not giving you the proper care, listen, it's more than one. Yeah. Yes. It's more than one out here. Ask your friends. Absolutely. Like, I can say, I learned about my doctor, my current doctor, from my line sisters. I didn't know who she was. And I'm thankful for that. And you know what I mean?
Thankful for them. I'm thankful for y'all. I don't know who y'all are, but thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that resource.
And at that time, they didn't even know what I was experiencing. They just know I was looking for another OBGYN. So I would ask and they would refer her. You know what I mean? So I'm just grateful that I go to her and she's very adamant about things. She's the reason I got my first biopsy.
Yeah.
Because it was a continuous cycle. I would go to the breast center and they're like, oh, well, you're fine. And then she's like, well, how you know that? Until you do a biopsy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I appreciate that.
How was that though? Like even a biopsy, like what do they do? Like when you go through that?
Well, it's a needle, a long needle. They numb you, but it is a needle. I couldn't really look. I just saw that needle. I was like, okay. But they go in, they do ultrasound, so they can see the spot, and then they take tissue from it. And then they, of course, send it off. But, I mean, thankfully, both times I was able to hear back within 24, at most 48 hours.
That's a blessing in itself. Instead of having to wait months or weeks.
Oh, yeah, because it can be that way.
I feel like it shouldn't.
Especially this day and time, I feel like everything is so delayed. So I was actually...
To me, stuff that's delayed shouldn't be delayed. All this technology.
Yeah.
Can you let me know in 5 minutes?
Yeah. And that's why I can say where I go now for my mammograms, they're very thorough. I haven't had any issues with them. But they took images. I went and sat and waited. The doctor reviewed them. I went and got an ultrasound, you know. And she did another ultrasound. So I will say though, this time I knew something wasn't right. Because before they never did an ultrasound on my underarm. So this time they did an ultrasound on my underarm. And when they did that, I was like, this is a little different. Yeah. So you have to go in there and you have to prep yourself to, okay, this could be the sign, or you know what I mean? Yeah. So at that time, I prepared for the worst, because I'm like, okay, here we are again. I already know that I'm high risk. I didn't know at that point when I found out I was high risk what percentage I was. Yeah. So I'm learning new information the more that I go. Yeah. But it's always in the back of your mind, like, okay, what you gonna say, girl? What's going on this time? Or, So when I go at the end of the month, hopefully, that'll give me more clarity. And then I'll schedule my next follow-up. And just go from there, and then do some more preventative actions.
Definitely I admire you for the preventative actions and just staying on top of it. Because sometimes we also let our health slip away from us.
We do.
Because of life, we're so busy. And sometimes being so busy can make you forget about self in certain aspects of life. Yeah. So also my question is too, do you experience any type of like pain, or how can other women be aware of if they like going through this or experiencing something of this nature?
Yeah, so the first time I experienced pain, it was negative. This time I didn't experience pain. I actually was going for my yearly exam, and she found a lump that thankfully was normal tissue, but they found something within that which I couldn't feel. And that again showed up on an ultrasound. So what I will say is that if it's a negative in it, it's the fact that the mammogram doesn't pick up everything. It doesn't pick up everything. And when you go for a mammogram if it's no issues. So you wouldn't know until it was an issue. You know what I mean? But yeah, other than that, they say that breast cancer is painless. They say, but I think it's different for everybody. Because I know somebody, she's a survivor I used to work with, and she had issues. She was hurting, but she actually had breast cancer. But if I can remember correctly, I think she was further along. So maybe the further along you get without it being checked, possibly,
the worse it could be.
Yeah. So just make sure you feel. And again, shout out to my doctor, because that was actually something that I thought I felt, but I was like, again, the dense tissue. Right. So I go all the time to the doctor for that. So I'm thinking in my mind, like, maybe it's just, dense tissue, or I know I kind of picked up on my Starbucks, even though I don't drink coffee.
I love coffee. Pour it up, Starbucks.
The tea that I get does have some caffeine in it, so I was thinking that it could have been that, because I know that's one factor they say with like cysts and things of that nature. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Having a good doctor, I could just always go back there, because like I said, even with me being high risk, I was like, oh no, this probably just dense tissue. Yeah. You know what I mean? But thankfully she said it was a lump, and I went and got a mammogram, and then I got an ultrasound, and they found the cyst in ultrasound.
Well, I'm just glad everything was caught early.
Me too.
Better early than better later. I do wish that, and yeah, shout out to your doctor. Shout out to your doctor. Shout out to your doctor. Thank you to whoever you are. And again, thank you to the girls that referred the resources to her to meet with this doctor. Yes. Like herbal things, like, when it comes to certain things we need to eat, or what can help prevent or cure in a certain way. Again, that's why I kept asking about diet. Like, what can be something to help either slow it down, or for it to just, cease. That's the word. Yeah. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
So it can fade.
I know juicing, my cousin said juice with pears, and that's something that I had done. Like juicing with pears, either pear juice. But if anybody has any suggestions, or please, if anybody is going through the same thing, and have a little bit more knowledge. Because, like I said, I mean, I've been going to the doctor. I've changed my diet up to fit what I feel like, is sufficient. But if you have any other suggestions, or you experience the same thing, or if you have breast cancer,
please share.
Yeah.
Please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember when I first started talking about it, and I was going to boot camp, and this was in COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the girls in boot camp was saying that her friend had stage 0. So it can start, as young as that.
I never heard of stage 0.
Mm-hmm.
So all this information is new to me. I'm actually learning something from you right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a lot. And it's still, also, I'm going to take another gene test to see what gene I carry, because I did take one before, but it was talking about the variant. It wasn't very clear. So I'm going to take another one. And that's something that I'll talk about this one when I go.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, continue to stay strong.
Thank you.
Of course, you have your support. I'm here.
I know.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot to take in. And again, like you said, sometimes can't be resilient to everything.
You can't.
You got people here that you lean on. And again, keep showing up for yourself.
That's important, because you definitely do have to show up for yourself. Because a lot of times we don't.
We don't.
A lot of times we don't. We don't show up for ourselves, and then sometimes it's too late. You show up too late. Instead of taking the precautions and, listening to your body.
That part.
Because our body tells us things.
Our body tells us stuff. I used to work myself to death, and now I'm tired, and my body's literally telling me I'm tired, but I still keep pushing on until I pass out. Remember, my little brother found me kind of passed out from working, like overworking, like working 3 jobs, just working.
Yeah.
And they're like, why are you working so much? What, Daddy? Cause I gotta do this, and this. You're like, you can't do everything in one day. We can't do everything in one day.
You sound like my boyfriend. He told me that today.
I will try it. I'm like, your 24 hours ain't my 24 hours.
Yeah.
I try to push it to the max in one day. Yeah. And that tears our body down.
It does. Faster.
Yeah.
I remember my mom talking about, girl, you sound old, because I complain about my knees. You know what I mean?
My knees be pop when I go up them stairs.
Yeah. But I told her, like, I thought about it a couple years ago. Like, girl, I was in band. I did cheerleading. I did this. I did that. So all that stuff naturally puts more wear and tear on your body.
Yeah, dude. Didn't realize that. We had to jump in.
Right.
Ooh, put me up in the air.
Yeah. It's fun.
It's fun till we get older.
Yeah. And then you start feeling it, you be in your 30s and you like, ooh.
Yeah. Like, ooh, my back hurt.
But it's the things that we put our body through, and we just have to pay attention to them.
Like you said, pay attention to our body. Our body speaks to us.
And please, y'all, because this was said to me.
I felt that wholeheartedly.
Please don't let nobody tell you that's common.
Oh, no, ma'am.
Please don't let nobody tell you that. It might be common, and that's cool if it is, but it's not normal.
It's not.
It's not. Stuff is just not normal. You're not supposed to hurt.
That sounds senseless.
It is.
That's senseless.
And it's one of those things where I take it as one of those things as it's like it's okay because it's not them. But if it was them, they would want some compassion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It might be common. That's okay. I'm gonna come in my tail to this doctor.
Absolutely.
And see what she's talking about.
Dang. Don't say that. I'm sorry. Excuse my French. Common.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who
so.
says that? Who says that? Who? It's common. Word?
Not who.
Who?
Yeah. Well, just be an advocate for yourself. If it don't feel right, it ain't right.
I agree with that.
And just go get it checked out.
Go. Go.
And if you don't feel right with that answer, go get
another answer.
Yeah.
From another doctor.
Like I did.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's about you.
It is.
At the end of the day.
It's about you.
Taking care of yourself.
Mm-hmm. It's not about them, and it's not about what they think.
Mm-mm.
It's about you.
It's definitely about you.
Mm-hmm. So I want to say that I empathize with anybody that has experienced this, or gone through breast cancer or lost somebody because of breast cancer. I know October is a hard month, and we're approaching holidays too.
We are.
So it's just, I feel like once October hit, it's just like a downward spiral.
Yeah, domino effect.
On top of seasonal depression, and it just gets very hard for a lot of people. So we empathize.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Talk to people. Don't isolate yourself.
No. All right, y'all.
Peace out.
Peace out.
And
Thank you.
Please share whatever information you have on this topic. Whatever you know, please share. And thank you for listening.
All right. Bye.
Bye. You talking about comment? You done got these CeeLo braids in my head. Cleo, whoever she's, I'll set it off.